Hi guys, it's Thursday. I think it's the 29th. Yeah, the 29th of August, 2019. And I'm really excited to do this today. I'm going to share a little bit of my story. I have to time myself because I will talk and talk and talk. Anyway, so I am excited to share this with you, and I hope that it brings some hope or help somebody out there. If you ever need anything, you can always reach out. So my story is full of, it's full of a lot of sadness, but at the same time, it's full of a lot of change and growth and hope. So I hope that I can share that, and that's the message that you receive. When I was a little girl, I have had problems with, molested and all of that. And my dad was also having an affair on my mom. So I came from a really broken family, and I struggled internally, and I didn't know how to talk about it. When you're a little kid, you don't know how to talk about things. And on top of that, my mom and my dad had so much going on with them that all I really remember was just really being sad a lot. As I got older, the struggles that were in my heart continued to manifest in ways that were very unhealthy. I started getting into pills and alcohol when I was about 12, 13. And it wasn't really, I didn't really realize, you always think, I don't have a problem, I can stop whenever I want. It wasn't really an everyday thing. I was a party girl, definitely was, always wanted to be out there and have attention. And I was just very draining for a lot of people, especially my family. The person that I was in a relationship with, I was very exhausting. I look back and I think, I don't even know how anybody wanted to be around me ever, which they probably didn't, let's be real. But anyway, as I got older, I lost my virginity really young and partied a lot. And when I got married, I had a boyfriend, and we moved in together when I was 18. And through all this time, my dad had been in prison and in jail and all that. So my mom was very steady. She didn't ever really change, which was really good for me. I didn't appreciate it then like I do now, but it really was good to have at least one thing that was stable. So I got pregnant at 18. I went to hair school, got pregnant, and I mean, I partied, but it wasn't ever anything that was, serious or whatever. But I got pregnant and had my oldest. She is now 12. I had her when I was 18, and then I turned 19 a week later. And after that, I started doing pills often. And it was just this slow, gradual, it was headed nowhere good. It was headed straight for disaster. I didn't see that. I was very immature, and I played victim stance all the time. I blamed everybody around me for my own misery or all the problems that I felt in my life. I blamed everybody. I didn't know any different. I mean, I'm sure I could have tried, but I blamed everyone. I blamed my dad. I blamed my husband at the time. I blamed, I blamed my mom. I blamed my stepdad. I blamed everybody. And I just had it was just this downward spiral. And, pills got it just went from bad to worse. And I ended up losing my daughter. I had to give her to family because I was not fit to be a mother. And that was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. And my daughter's dad, my ex-husband, you know, we went through a lot of hard times. And so when she went with family, it just went from pills to heroin. And I actually think we started heroin a little bit earlier than that, before we lost her, because it was too expensive to continue with OxyContin. So, you know, we went to heroin, and I had a bad, I mean, I've overdosed so many times, I can't even tell you. That's something I don't even know how I'm standing here today, but I hope you know that there is hope, because I'm here. Anyway, so over the next 10 years, 9 years, 8 years, I was in and out of jails, in and out of rehab, in and out of lifestyle. It became an addiction, just the lifestyle alone, the hustling and anyway, the hustle of trying to get the drugs and all of that became an addiction in itself. So we ended up getting divorced, lots of overdoses, lots of jail stays, lots of blaming and victim and just chaos. And I became really addicted to the chaos. And when things started to get, you know, I'd sober up for a few months. I wasn't willing to look within myself and try and fix those things. I really just wanted to escape from my reality. And that is a temporary, that does not last. That only, you know, for a few minutes or an hour or, you know, or a night or whatever. So between drugs, sex, men, women, Anyway, so, and that confusion of sexuality, I believe that it has, this is my own personal opinion, for me, I hold no judgment on anything, but for me, I wasn't okay with who I was. I didn't know who I was. So therefore, anybody would fix that for the time being. That's why nothing lasted, because it wasn't built on anything real. All of my problems were, I was causing them, and all the confusion and all the chaos and all those things, that was something that was my problem. You know, and that's just me speaking for myself, because I hold no judgment on anybody. That it was just very confusing for me, because I didn't know who I was or what, you know, I didn't know. I was just, anyway, that's a whole nother subject. We can talk about that later. But, and honestly, you know, over those years, my daughter, you know, I think the guilt from knowing that I was better or that I could be better, the guilt from that drove me to use more, which you would think it would be the opposite, and you would get healthy for your child. I don't even understand it quite myself, because it's not that you don't love your child or your children, or it has nothing to do with that. Because you love them more than anything, but you are so stuck in your own problems that you can't care about anybody else. You love them because they're your children, but you care about, or you can't see past your own crap. You're too focused on yourself. You can't get outside yourself to help anybody else. It doesn't matter if you gave birth to them. It doesn't matter, you know, when you're in addiction, you're in addiction. And anyway, so I ended up, you know, relapsing after rehab in 2016, January 2016. And 2016. And I met Remy's dad. And in between that, I had a tubal pregnancy in 2014. And I was literally crazy. My reality was so far from real. Like, I look back and I don't know how I'm even sane today. I have no idea. Just not making any sense. I'm like, the Lord works in mysterious ways, and I know that it was all his part of his plan. I look back and it is so crazy how perfect he has done these things in my life, little puzzle pieces that fit so perfectly together. Even when I was a wreck and a mess, when I was homeless, I never really went without a warm place to stay. Well, a few times, but I look back and there were miracles along the way all over the place for me to be safe. Things could have been a lot worse than they were. Anyway, so met Remy's dad. We got married. We decided to run away to Vegas and get married. And that, I mean, I wouldn't take it back, because if I were to take it back, I would not have my little girl, and I would have not had, I don't think I would have experienced all the changes that I have had in my life. He played a significant part in the shifting of my life, from where it was to where it is now. Being with him, there were a lot of things that were very unhealthy, but if it weren't for him and him telling me, look, you're going to overdose and die. Like I think it was like 3 times in a month, probably, that I was in the ER, maybe 2 months. He had to call the paramedics on me. He's taken me to the hospital multiple times. And he just said, I can't do this anymore. You need to get help. So we went, and him and I both went down to medical detox. I checked myself into LDS hospital, medical detox. And that is one thing that I would suggest strongly if you are struggling with narcotics or alcohol or anything, to go to a medical detox, where they take care of you for a week. And it was very, very, I've been to a lot of different places, a lot of detox, a lot of jails, a lot of things. That was pivotal. Well, there's a few things in this, in my story that were pivotal moments, but I forgive you. Thank you for watching this still. I'm not forgive me that this is going so long. I'm trying to hurry. So I reached out to my dad's ex-wife. She's my little sister's mom. She's been in my life since I was 9. I reached out to her, and she had a sober living and an intensive outpatient up in Oregon, Astoria, Oregon. So, I had an abscess on my ankle, couldn't pack my bags. Sean packed 7, we had 7 bags. He packed all of my bags for me. And we got on a bus, and he got us up to Oregon. Just because I couldn't even walk on my left foot. It was so bad. And that's so embarrassing to even say. It was so gross. But so we get to Oregon, and, a week and a half sober. We get there, we're staying at a hotel room for 3 days, fresh sober, like a week and a half sober. And, we get moved into separate sober living homes, and we go to the and I'm starting to feel bloated, and I'm starting to feel like I'm feeling weird. And because I had my left tube out, I did not think that I could get pregnant. I was like 5 weeks sober when I found out I was expecting Remington. And I didn't recovery is hard enough. I don't know, everything shifted because I did not have my oldest daughter. Everything shifted. My whole universe went on tilt. What I thought I had planned for being up in Oregon was not what the Lord had planned for me. As I went through the IOP, and Sean and I were in separate homes, I'm telling you, if you want to get sober and have a solid foundation, you've got to do it on your own. You've got to do it without a significant other around. You have to do it by yourself. If you do not do it by yourself and you're relying on other people, when those people let you down, because they will, what are you going to do? What are you going to do when they relapse? What are you going to do? If you don't do it for yourself, you're either going to go down in flames with them, or, you're not going to be able to function without them. So Sean, and I hope he doesn't care if I use his name, because obviously it's lit. So, he and I were up in Oregon, and, I was getting stronger, and he started struggling. And, because I had that solid foundation for myself, I didn't know what my future was going to look like, but I was capable. I was sober. I was capable of working. I was knowing that I wanted more. I didn't know what that was going to look like, but I knew that I deserved more. I knew that I was capable, and I knew that, you know, no matter what it was going to look like, I knew that I was not going back to the lifestyle or the life that I had lived. I'd already lost one daughter, and I was not about to lose another child. The end. I did not care. There was a decision that I made, and that was it. My 20s were hell. It was hell. The most lonely, dark times of my whole life. And I'm telling you, I made the decision. I was not going back to that. It did not matter what I had to do. I was not going to go back to that. That decision had to be made. She was born. Things fell apart with Sean major. He was no longer in recovery, and it was very toxic, very unhealthy. She was in the hospital when she was born. She had jaundice, and then she also got a UTI with like 3 weeks after she was home. And it was very, very scary. So we had to go back to the hospital, and I'm grateful for that. I'm not saying that I'm grateful my daughter was sick, but honestly, it kept me away from Sean, and it kept me away from his use. I didn't want to choose to believe that, but that's, you know, I had to. It's crazy. I look back and it's just so different. Well, when I was at, you know, I ended up having to, long story short, and hurry because this is going long. I moved back to Utah, and I did not even have a clue what I was going to do. I had no job. I had a 2-month-old baby. I was overweight. I was unhealthy. I was depressed. I was sober. I was having panic attacks. I was sober. And that was the only thing that I was sure of, is that I was going to take care of what I needed to, and I was going to be sober. I was going to stand tall and decide to make the change. So my mom introduced me to health coaching. I am now a health coach, which is totally crazy because I have lived my life in every unhealthy habit, unhealthy thinking patterns you could ever imagine. And slowly but surely, I have pulled myself out of it, and I am now a health coach, and I am making a change and hoping to help others. And I'm sorry if you had to listen to that crazy story, but I'm glad. I hope I helped. I hope I helped in some way. So I want to just touch on 3 bullet points so that you leave from watching this video, taking something away from it with you. So the turning point for me was, there are a few. When I went to medical detox and made the decision to do that. I was not happy about it. I did not want to, but I went. When I got to Oregon and when I found out I was pregnant, that was another turning point. But when I moved home and I knew that I was sober, my big turning point, I think, was I didn't want to feel like crap anymore. I didn't know where to go, but I knew that my mom was happy. And, there's been so many turning points. I think the most pivotal one was making the decision to absolutely just make the decision to change your life. That was the first one in 2017, February 2017. That was my turning point. That was when I decided to get sober. And then my other one was when I decided to get healthy. And there's been more and more pivotal turning points for me throughout the years, but these past almost 3 years. But I think when I got sober and when I found out I was pregnant, those were huge turning points. And when I decided to take charge of my own life and face things that I was scared about, like dealing with APNP and things like that I'm now done with, thank goodness. But so those were all turning points. And how I made the changes was, honestly, that was another one that I had written down. How I made the changes was one day at a time and doing things that were hard. You make the changes because you know you want more. Not that you know what it's going to look like, but because you know you want something different than what you got or what you're experiencing. It's not always easy to do this. I've been stuck in a crappy mindset the past 2 weeks, I feel like, and I have made the decision to make the change. So here I am, and I hope this is helping. But you have got to make the decision. You have got to be serious about making a change. You can't just be half in, half out, because if you're half in, half out, and you don't know what you want, then anything will do. Anything. And although I'm not perfect, I know that I want change and I know that I'm capable. So therefore I move forward, not knowing what it will look like, but I do things scared, because scared is the only way to get through. If you don't do them, then you're always going to have that fear. If you just do them, then you have a fun time, and it actually turns out to be a lot better and easier than what's holding you back in your mind. It's always scarier in your head than it is in real life. And honestly, what I do to keep moving forward, that's my last bullet point. What I keep doing to move forward is I pray and I keep moving no matter what. Doesn't matter what it looks like, doesn't matter the struggle. I've had to put my own selfish ego aside and know that I do not know anything. I don't know anything. I've lived my life thinking I know everything, and I don't. I stay sober. I get into action, whether it be just waking up in the morning and getting up, get my coffee, go and get going for the day. Does not matter what it looks like, but I always move forward. I keep going no matter what. I never give up. I stretch myself and get outside my comfort zone, which is super hard because I've lived a life full of experience, and I'm not always proud of what comes out of my mouth sometimes. But honestly, I just keep moving forward. I serve others. With my job, I call and I message and I get outside myself. Even when it's uncomfortable, it's not about me. It's about the people in my life and how I can help them. It's not about me. My life is, I'm here to serve others. I'm not here for selfish gain. I'm not here for that. I'm here to be a mom to my children and to live a fulfilling life by helping others have a fulfilled life. That's why I'm here, and that's what keeps me moving forward. I love what I do as a health coach. I love helping people feel better and have breakthroughs and feel better in their clothes and feel better mentally and physically and have energy and sleep better and get off medications. All these things that have been such a blessing for so many people's lives. That's what keeps me moving forward every day. So if you need anything, feel free to reach out. Like I said at the beginning, I hope that you guys all have a wonderful, wonderful Labor Day weekend. And yeah, I hope you got something out of this. Just keep moving. Don't give up. Because the statistics they're crap. You know, I'm just going to add this. Every rehab that I ever went into, people said that relapse is part of recovery. Absolutely not. It does not have to be part of recovery. And I'm not standing here saying that I'm better than or I'm anything. You guys, you don't have to be anything. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to relapse just because they say it's part of recovery. You don't have to do that. You can do whatever you want. Heroin, meth, cocaine, all of those are things that you can recover from. It's not the substance that's the problem. It's what's inside of you that's the problem. And until you can get all of your crap out, hanging out to dry, and heal yourself from the inside out, then, once you can do that, it all kind of goes away. At least it did for me. That was my problem. It wasn't the drugs that I had a problem with. It was the inability to accept my reality. I didn't want to deal with me, who I was. So here we are, fixing me. It's not pretty, and it's really hard sometimes, but everybody's got crap. Every single person has crap, and until we get out there and we expose it and we deal with it and accept things as they are, that's when we can move forward and have a better life. So you can recover. Statistics are crap. You can recover. Recovery is possible. It's beautiful. It's hard. It's challenging, but life is so beautiful. And I say that with like the most humble, grateful heart I can't even tell you. I'm so blessed. I have such a wonderful, beautiful life right now. And I can't even tell you. So thanks for letting me share my story. I hope it's helped. If you need anything, please reach out. Yeah, have a great weekend, guys. See ya.